Alright, I should be good for like the rest of the night. So we'll do Monster Train through the league a little bit more of this. I was using my camera to take some pictures of the wildflowers. Oh, I should probably read these. My head's just angles, man! Using my camera to take some photos of some pictures of wildflowers. Noticed that there were two people standing on the suspension bridge. They just started fighting. When I took a photo of that crucial moment. You know them just standing there? Sorry, that's the wrong one. Sorry, that's the wrong one. You don't want to see that. What a crucial moment. Witness. When you said that you took a look at the photo of the crucial moment, is this what you meant? Is this what you meant? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. Testifying that you saw the two of them starting to fight. Normally, that's the kind of thing people would refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented the photo like that? Well, you see, the photo we presented was the only one there was. But if you really wanted to capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it. Oh. My apologies, young lady. Miss Faye's... So, are they sisters, or...? I forget your... something... Hawthorne. Miss Faye's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit. You can certainly downplay situation candy. I'm sorry, I'm a very bad girl. I, used it all up. The film, I mean. I ran out of film. Or the photo was the last one. What? Fortunately, that is the truth. I personally examined all the photographs she took that day. All the other photos are of the witness herself playing among the wildflowers. Witness herself? And you took the photos. Well, you see, my camera has a timer for all the feature built into it. Take photos of yourself? I've already taken some photos of myself once too. Please, no details. Seems that Miss Fig's assertion was not so decisive after all. Wait, just a minute. Well, she had no film left. She couldn't very well take more pictures, eh? Miss Foster, please then, you could tell us about a different sort of photo. Photos of the incident that you took with your very own eyes. Mr. Edgeworth, you're quite a poet. Very well then, let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts on the fight that you witnessed. Yes, Mr. Judge. Boy, this guy is really a sucker for a sweet talk. It looks like that other kid in the room is the one that's getting all the attention. Yeah, it's sickening. Using my camera, what changed? I don't know about this. I'm at the press it first, because like, yeah, you can't turn around and run that bridge. Because she would fall into a stinking pit if she was at where she says she was. I think you probably present this one. I think you present this. Yes. Witness. Testimony is a joke. Huh? What? But I just... Miss Faye, I thought I warned you not to make the witness cry. One short testimony and two big contradictions. There's no possible excuse. You said there were two contradictions? It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the two of them were in the middle of this bridge. But if they were, and the victim had turned around and tried to run, then she would have hit the dead end. To 10 yards, but she couldn't have ran even 5. Let's keep bridges collapsing on that side. Wow, she's flying away, man. What does all this mean? Very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness told a charming little lie. That's all there is to it. Now, Gurk, isn't this beautiful? A young lady has been lying to the court? Objection. Just a moment, Your Honor. Anybody can lie? Your Honor, I'm going to personally apologize for the confusion. What do you mean? There's one major mistake in this diagram. What'd you say? What are you referring to? It's all because the diagram was made after the incident occurred. Very old bridge. We couldn't find any official blueprints of it. You're saying? I'm saying that even the bridge is currently even though this bridge is currently in disrepair, there's no evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident. Yes, they found the court case 5 years ago. It's ridiculous. You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo. Yeah, we don't have anything based from like 5 years ago, do we? Nope. Yeah, no. Okay. I apologize to the court for not being clear when I presented the evidence. I finished folding my wash. Now's not the time to be looking at my socks. It says as it keeps doing it. This does not belong there. Dunk, 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 dunk. Dunk, 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 dunk. Alright. Stop folding laundry. Apologize to the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. That guy's good. What do you mean? Planned this from the beginning. He said I was genius, alright. They got diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy. What? A coward? An absolute coward. Well, Miss Faye, it seems you were once again made a reckless accusation. I'm so sorry, I should have been more careful myself. Did you have 3 irises? It wasn't your fault in each eye? Now then shall we go on with the trial. I'd like to establish once and for all what it was that the witness actually saw. Indeed. Alright, young lady? May I ask you to please receive your testimony, but it's so hard to go on. We're all on your side, Miss Foster. That's just me. There's no need to worry, just tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms, and he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. No, I'm sorry, I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw. Witnessing that his violence must have been difficult. Yes, sir. Still shaken up. If he accepts the testimony as it is, we're finished. Don't say that. Oh well, maybe I'll stop off at my favorite cafe on the way home. Make a really great mocha latte. Trial isn't over yet. That's what I like to hear. Alright, Miss Faye, your cross-examination if you please. The diction is staring right in your face, Mia. Go on and attack. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way to make sure the body stayed hidden. I'm just throwing in the ocean, right? Oh, sorry, the river. I guess I present you? Because we're not wanting his victim to be found. I can understand that. However, this idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There was so much easier way to make sure the body was never found. Well, what is it? Take another look at this map of the area and you'll see how. There's a river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edwards pointed out something interesting about the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall into there are never recovered. In a kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. If 10 murders were to occur at the same spot above the Eagle River. You can bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body in the water. Dunk, 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 dunk. Order, order, order. Dunk, 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 dunk. I'm not sure I care for the way you put that, Miss Faye. Not sure if I care for the way you put that, Miss Faye, but I must admit it does seem odd that I have thrown the body into the river. Ooh. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, our socks are done. Sigh. How sad. Perhaps Miss Faye would like to try taking a dip in the river herself, excuse you? After all, you can claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature. What are you talking about? My point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, which is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Quite true. Miss Faye, seems that your assertion is without merit after all. Objection. But when the witness claims you have seen is totally ridiculous. Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car. Certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. Please, witness, go on with your testimony. I'll try. All you have to do is tell us what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again. Oh, who's he talking about? Oh, alright, I'll do my best. After she stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. When he carried her over to the car, the killer broke into the trunk of his stolen car and hid the body there. Couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. I meant to hit RB. What does that mean? Or what did the man do then? Well, naturally, he got in the car, he was about to flee. That's when I came to my senses. I said to myself, you need to call the police. And so that's when you called the police? Sure that you saw that with all your very own eyes? Yes, I'm 100% certain. Bing, bing, bong. Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it this time. Done what? I made a crucial mistake. Crucial mistake like what, Miss Faye? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body there. And you're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes? You freaking liar. Not even Melissa Foster. Yes, Ed. It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at this diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo from that day is here. Do you see what I mean? Even if you try to see the car, the outcropping of the rock is directly in the way. That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. Dunk, 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 donkey, dunk, donkey, donkey. I admit that the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car. Are you absolutely insane? That's right. It's not that high at all. I was just able to see his car just fine. Dunk, dunk, donkey, donkey. So sorry, but it just doesn't wash. Ellipses. I believe it was a witness who presented this evidence in the court, yes? This is the location of the photo that was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge, but the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff. Ah. Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff. But still you claim to have been able to see the killer's car. Ellipses. No, she's flying away again, man. Order in the court? What is the meaning of all this ballyhoo? Objection? Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in the stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate the witness as it was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it. But she was repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Oh. Mr. Judge? What is it? I think I must have remembered something's wrong. Hey, wait a minute. You can't just say that. Objection. No. Miss Faye, no one on the face of this planet is perfect. Says you. Indeed, quite sure you know what they say. To err is human, to forgive divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here. What? It's not fair? Save your tears for later, kitten. Mr. Armando, don't look back until the trial is over. Now is the time to go forward. But that wasn't even fair. Okay, kitten, you need to relax, and you need to remember. The other kitten's testimony. The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body there. So tell me, how does she know about that? How does she know that he broke into the trunk? Ah, well, Miss Foster, until you can explain how you do that, you're going to have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. Don't go to. Well, witness? Well, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk. Because there were no marks left on the trunk lid. I'm certain there were scratch marks from when he broke into it. What? Into that photo. It's true. It certainly looks like there's scratch marks around the keyhole. Where? Where my overlay is? Oh no. Obvious that this trunk has been broken open. Miss Faye, are you satisfied? Judge is on her side, I can't make any mistakes here. What she just said, doesn't work. Mr. Foster, not like you have access to the evidence. I think you finally betrayed yourself. What? Say you were in the field taking photos of wildflowers. But even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is when? When did you get a chance to see those scratches? Finally. I finally got her. I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. And perhaps it would be faster if Miss Faye explained herself. Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The real reason the witness had seen the scratches was she put the corpse in it itself. Only one way the witness had the chance to see those scratches. Yes, what is it? Naturally, when she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was Lisa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it? That's ridiculous. I could never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one who did it. I don't think so, Miss Foster. Mr. Falls had been the one that put the corpse in the trunk. He would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open. But he stole the car. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at the red light, which means that the key would have still been in the ignition. Oh, I see. Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never could have uncovered the truth. Thank you for telling me about the scratches. I have my overlay above it. I didn't see it. That it couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk. No, she's flying away again, man. Preposterous. Do even suggest that the witness put the body in there? If that were true, then how do you explain this photo she took? Corpse could only have been put in there the trunk when the incident occurred. And we didn't know that at this time she was taking photographs. Don't, now's your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself, but it's a stinking timer camera. Let's take another look at this camera and see what features it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Why, it's almost as if she had brought the camera just to take the picture. trying to say then, Miss Fay? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed? Well, she really did use the camera's auto-timer. And the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. Exactly, she was not in the field. And the defense, please explain. Will the defense please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? Answering that question will also make clear Miss Foster's true identity. Well then, please answer the question. Naturally, the witness was right here, but that's where the victim, Miss Hawthorne, was standing. Order, order, order. Miss Fay, what on earth? Your Honor, if I may. After partying with the victim on the bridge, the defendant flipped up a car. But this would mean there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before the defendant met the victim. How asinine. Of course Mr. Falls met with the victim. One person who, with the opportunity to put the victim in the trunk, the same man that killed her, Terry Falls. Objection. You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne, but Melissa Hawthorne, I think. Is her name? I don't remember, it's been like 2 weeks. I never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Then who exactly is the victim of this photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness. What? It's the only possible explanation. The woman that Mr. Falls met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster. Me? Let's remember that it was raining it was raining and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Falls himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne. But the defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted. Since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in the federal penitentiary. You couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. You were just making this up as you go along. Where's your proof? No, right here. At the time of the incident, Mr. Falls had forgotten what the Valerie Hawthorne looked like. I asked about the note and the scarf. Mr. Falls had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification, namely the muddy scarf. With Mr. Falls, he requested that she wear this scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note when the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf like you asked, no one could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. Well, what do you have to say for that, Miss Lisa Foster? No. Critical hit. Do-do-do-do-do. Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby. It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together. The only question is, why did she do it? Well, isn't that obvious? She's the real culprit. Huh? Well, we'll have to wait for the Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are both to wait in their respective lobbies. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well, this court is in recess. So freaking good, man. A little savvy. Mind if I do? Okay, my man. February 16th, 1:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 4. Mr. Falls, Ooga, eek. I'm sorry. I want to say thanks, you're real good, you really hooked me up. Thanks, we're almost there. Once I prove that she committed the crime, ellipses. Yeah, but there's one more big obstacle we gotta get past. Obstacle? Yeah, motive. Oh, Melissa Foster killed the policewoman anyway. Motive, huh? Anyway, so badly in need of information. Information, right. What we need What we need the most is info about this Melissa Foster herself. All we know is that she's a student studying literature. And one more thing. What is it? Well, the incident that happened 5 years ago, of course. Kidnapping murder case that the zebra boy is on the death row for. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. Mr. Falls, in that case, tell us more about it. About what happened 5 years ago. Okay, I trust you. That day, 5 years ago, I dream of it. Every day. This picture, it reminds me of everything. Bridge looks the same, just like then, 5 years ago. Like it could fall apart any minute. So it's been broken like that for the last 5 years? Ha, sorry buddy. You sound like that, one that could fall apart at any minute. It's true. I did kidnap her. 5 years ago, I kidnapped my girlfriend, Dahlia Hawthorne. Bro, she was like 14 at the time. Am I dying? Am I dying? Huh? Hey, hold on there. Did you say Hawthorne? Victim's last name? Dahlia Hawthorne. Valerie's little sister. What? Are you serious? The girl. Let her go. Maybe she just takes over the name, I guess. It's also an option. Should I come closer and I kill her? Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. The detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. At first I thought shooting someone for kidnapping was crossing the line, but if it was to protect your little sister, I can understand why she did it. Wrong. No protect sister. Valerie betrayed me, betray us. What do you mean she betrayed you? Everything. All lies. All make-believe kidnapping too. Make-believe kidnapping? Dahlia, my girlfriend. My love, my teen angel. How did he actually say my teen angel? He's seen one too many soap operas. I do anything she says, anything Dahlia says. Anything Dahlia says. Hold on a minute. Saying is that kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by... Still, like, she was 14 and you were 20. Yeah, me and Dahlia? And Valerie, too. Valerie was into it. Dahlia's family is a rich jewelry business. We get one jewel, that's what we thought. Me and Dahlia wrote kidnap note. Send to her dad. Ask for $2 million diamond. Tell him to exchange on Dusky Bridge. Well, then we tell him Valerie make transfer because she's a new detective. Having a police detective in your pocket is a useful thing, alright. In the end, you were planning on splitting the 2 million 3 ways, huh? Yeah, but that woman. That woman, Valerie, she'd do it for real. She'd shoot at me for real. Me and Dahlia, bang. I was shot in arm. Dahlia, she jumped in river. Jump? You don't mean she jumped on purpose, do you? I couldn't do it. I could never push her. Anyway, I blacked out. Woke up with police all over. And that's when they decided to give you the death sentence. Couldn't believe it. That woman, she betrayed me. That man, Terry Flaws, he killed her. He threw her off the bridge. He threw my beloved sister into the roaring river 40 feet below. These 5 years, all I wonder is why? 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 Why did she lie? That's all I want to know. And that's why you called her? You wanted to hear the truth from Valerie herself. Yes, but I forget what she looked like. I tell her to wear a scarf. I don't want to hurt her. Just ask why. Why? Why did you lie? Why did you betray me? Just want to hear an answer come from her mouth. That's all. So that's why you made a crazy escape like that. Just one thing, zebra boy. Senses are tingling all over. Tell me, Mr. Falls. Where is it? Huh? Where's what? Come on now, kid. The ransom, the $2 million diamond. Remember that now? Did you give it back to Pops? Did the police take it? I don't know. Oh, you don't know? No, really, I don't know. It's gone with Dahlia. Dahlia. That day on the bridge, Dahlia put it in the backpack. Now gone with Dahlia. Gone forever. The Eagle River. It disappeared with Dahlia, huh? Wait a minute. You can come back now. We're about ready to go. Mr. Falls, just one more question. When you said with Dahlia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Dahlia Hawthorne? Never found her, my sweet Dahlia. Never found her. Swallowed by river. Gone. Dahlia, my teen angel. You deserve to be in prison. Your teen angel, how old was she anyway? Just 14? 14. Yes, you were robbing cradle before diamonds. She plans a fake kidnapping and disappears into the river with a fake with a rock worth 2 million. Man, oh man. Angels these days. Falls takes the fall. And gets a one-way ticket to the death row. Is Dahlia Hawthorne an angel, or is she really a... It's time, kid. Like we have a few more aces up our sleeve now. You bet, diamond added to the court record. Training wheels come off now, Mia. You got to strike while the iron is hot. That's one of my rules, remember it. You don't do it too well. Dunky 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 dunk dunk. Now then, let's continue on the trial of Mr. Terry Falls. Witness, are you feeling better? Yes, Your Honor. I'll try my best. You're a brave young lady. Not this again. I can understand that a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. Never try and pin a crime on an innocent student is. What are you talking about? My witness is not the person on the trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime. That's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have for murdering a policewoman? It's certainly hard to imagine this woman as a murderer. Motive, huh? I figured that's what I had to establish next. Well, Miss Faye, do you have any more evidence of a motive? Yes, I think. You're still acting as tame as a kitten, kid. Mr. Amato, listen. A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is a mark of a pro. Maybe so, but I wish you would quit grinning at me like that. Excuse me? May I speak, Mr. Judge? Of course. Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like. I'd like to say something. People here are suspicious of me, right? That's why. I at least wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true. I see. Such an honest and upstanding young lady. Looks like the witness is a real professional. What do you mean? Look at the 100-watt smile. It's when things are darkest for her. Click, she lightens right up. Very well then, let's hear what the witness has to say. I was out of the country until the year before last. Until I entered college, I had never even been to Eagle Mountain before. I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago? Or kidnapping a poor girl? I just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. How would you know about the story? Out of country, eh? Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder. Indeed. You're up to bad, kid. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile. You bet. Somehow I have to tie her to this case. Hi. A grudge? Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death. Yes, and that's precisely why he harbored such deep anger against her. So much anger that he forgot his own guilt. Klein has always maintained that he's innocent of those charges. Seems rather forgetful. Or Klein, I mean. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot the poor policewoman as well. What do you mean by that? Client. You forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well. Well, should you, I'm gonna press harder always, but like, isn't that what I wanted to do with this press? I wanted to say, like, how would you know, forehead, about the case 5 years ago? I guess I'm wrong. Forgot what the detective looked like? What do you mean by that? Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some kind of identification, right? Quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf as identification. Well, if I had been wearing a white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me. That's true. Still don't know how you know. This is bad, Mr. Falls. The reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's better to not poke at the testimony. Your Honor, what the witness said just now was tremendously important. With the official testimony. Prosecution has no objection. After all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one of that. Testimony only helps to further prove that point. No, that's not why I... Enough, witness, if you would. My pleasure, Mr. Judge. What do you mean by lucky? Well, it's February now. Everyone's wearing scarves. If I'd actually only worn a white scarf like you said, and you then you yourself might have been killed. That would have been a terrible loss for this world. Like you pressed too hard this time, kid. Mr. Armando, keep looking around at you. You're going to lose sight of the finish line. Mrs. is blind, but she's not deaf. Sometimes you have to know when not to talk. Like, how do you know? Witness, I want you to look at this photo you took. It's hard to see in the photo. Look at the scarf the victim wore as identification. Now you're talking about the scarf right here, eh? Yes, that's it, the scarf the police woman is wearing. Better now, just don't mess up. But that's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. White? This scarf you identified as belonging to the victim. But this one doesn't look white to me. Oh, don't. Well, it was foggy that day, and it was raining as well. Not surprising that she mistook it for white. Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed. This was the victim's scarf. Yes, but... what's the significance? It's true that the scarf doesn't look white, but there's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is because she wrote the note. She read the note? Witness, had you ever seen this note? No, no, never. It's top secret evidence, there's no reason that you would have. I wonder about that. What do you mean? The note shows Mr. Fall's instructions to the victim regarding the meeting. It says, wear a white scarf for identification. White scarf. Ah. Witness, you knew that this note, you know what this note said. That's because you knew that you slipped up, mistakenly said a white scarf. Well, Miss Foster? No, she's flying away again, man. Order, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for an explanation. Quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public. And Jem, this witness knew exactly what the note said. Time of the murder, the number of the people who knew were quite limited. Terry Falls is one. The person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another. And finally, one more person. You say one more person. That's right, a person that no one would have suspected. You figured it out, kid? Yep. The person that knew the contents of this note was... Dahlia Hawthorne. And that person is... Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne. I've never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia, tell her this time. There is her name right there. What's this? So who is this person? This is Dahlia Hawthorne. Sigh. This fan must be desperate if she's trying to bring up the dead back to life. The dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes, she was kidnapped. And killed by Terry Falls. said she was killed? Was she really? What are you implying? Of course, people thought she had died 5 years ago, when she fell off the dusky bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. No. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she were still alive, she would be 19 now. Lisa Foster. I believe that's the same age you are. Even you couldn't? Miss Faye, you're not saying. But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. How nice work. It was like tossing a grenade into a three-alarm fire. Unless you can tie all that sense together. Nothing but a hit from the arsonist. I understand. To expose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. Not a chance that Mr. Edward squirm. It's just who are you anyway? I didn't think it'd come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness. Yes, I understand. Mr. Edward, explain yourself. Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue this matter this far. You don't mean. Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with your fools, you know. Naturally, we conducted full background checks on all of our witnesses. What do you say? Looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go. No way, but then why? You hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to the victim's younger sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. But she died 5 years ago. We thought so as well, but well, as you can see, why would she hide her identity for 5 years? It has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime. Accidental? I don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years, she's been playing the role of a victim. And now we find her acting suspiciously at the scene of another murder. No. Really, Miss Faye, I must say, your strategy here is painfully obvious. Trying to pin your client's crime on the innocent witness in order to win. Any cost? How dare you? Please let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. But even worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious, her big sister. Miss Faye must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her. What? Fine to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Faye, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? Possible reason would the witness have for killing your beloved sister? Well, you see, I thought I was winning, but somehow this turned against me. I think you need a little push in your right direction, kid. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting your claim. That wasn't me, it was this guy, this crazy coffee addict. Objection. No. I think we've heard enough of empty threats from you, old man. What makes you think they were empty? Bro, isn't he like 26? 27? As your protege, it looks like she's sweating bullets. I am sweating bullets. You think you're in a tough spot, huh? Of course, aren't I? No. You just arrived at the moment of truth. That's all. Whether you win or lose, it's up to you. Up to me. Sigh. The rashness of youth, how charming. Coming from someone younger than me. Now then, let's not waste any more time, Miss Faye. What motive would the witness have for murdering her own sister, Dahlia Hawthorne? I don't think it's a diamond. I think it's that he wanted the truth to come out. Story source after Terry Flaws escaped. Called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note she left. It says, "Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out." Dahlia Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. Told her if she was going to reveal the truth, the whole truth. It was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. And the reason Dahlia thought she had to kill Valerie to keep her mouth shut permanently. Don't do it. Terrific story, Miss Faye. You like fiction, that is. Enlightening the court, Miss Faye. was the secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne the Terry Falls. They're the only one. There's only one important secret that I can test them all. Oh yes, another secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony. What testimony? Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago, we believe it will explain a lot of things, which is the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters. Very well, I'll grant you your request for further testimony. I know it'll be painful for you, but can you enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf? Yes, I'll try, Mr. Judge. Putting on the old charm one more time, Dahlia. This will be the last time you hide behind your womanly lies. Wales, I think it said, I don't know. 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister, Valerie, brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money, so I decided to change my identity and start a new life. At the ripe old age of 14. No. Kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. And we're to believe, after all that, she murdered her sister. Preposterous. Thank you, Mr. Edworth. Miss Fay. Yes, Your Honor. As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination. Mr. Edworth, you got the jump on me again. If we're not allowed to fight, then let's twist some arms. Listen up. We still got the info. The ace is up our sleeve. Come on, kid. Don't say you've forgotten already. The fact that this kidnapping happened 5 years ago was staged. That's right, it was a fake kidnapping. Terry Falls told us that Robbie. I do anything she says, anything Dahlia says. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by, me and Dahlia and Valerie too. Yes, that's it. Fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's your secret. 5 years ago. He wouldn't push you. Shoving. He wouldn't shove you. I'd like to hear more about what happened right at the moment. Well, when Mr. Falls was shot in the right arm, he let go of me. I was dazed. I turned to try and run away, but Mr. Falls turned to grab me as well. As I ran past him, I thought for a second, and he gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin. In the next instant. I advise the court to remember that the river is 18 feet deep and incredibly swift. I was a strong swimmer, but I was knocked out. When I came to, I had been carried away by the river to a strange place. Never forget that day. I'm playing bridge, nowhere to run. Then just one little shove from behind, that was it. Before my sister could catch me, I fell into the river. I don't like it. If he would have shoved you, it would have been sent. I've just fallen off. You say that Mr. Falls pushed you into the Eagle River? However, that's hard to believe. I didn't even have to press anything. Did I present anything? The picture, right? But it's not true. I fell pushing my back. Certain of it was Mr. Falls. I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible. Impossible. I asked the court to recall the condition of the Dusky Bridge. Now and 5 years ago. The bridge hasn't changed one bit in the last 5 years. Someone had pushed you from behind, as you have claimed. Instead of being carried away by the river. You would have been smashed by the bedrock below. A certain death. Do you understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? That very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible. Ah. Your Honor, the event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then. It was 40 feet deep. It was 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small change in the water level wouldn't have made a difference. You're right, if the events occurred as the witness had testified. defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this? Oh, aye, you see, aye. Just a moment, Your Honor. It's true that the witness testified that the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge. What do you mean? After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. It's true, if that's true, she wouldn't have fallen in the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, is Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct? Now that you mentioned it, I remember now when I fell off that bridge. My skirt got caught on one of the bridge's side wires. You can't be serious. Order in the court. What's the side look like? Okay, you can't fit through that, come on now. It seems Miss Faye's assault has finally reached its conclusion. No, not now, Mia. There's no time to retreat. Unfortunately for you, it's just the start of Miss Faye's assault. What? I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's possible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Ridiculous. What's so impossible about it? Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record. Your Honor, all the answers are right here in the photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up about 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there. No. But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. Wires like that wouldn't be a problem for him. Could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over. So you're young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Falls has been shot in the right arm. And more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had her gun trained on him at point-blank range. Erg. So, Mr. Falls, throwing the witness off the bridge? That's clearly impossible. Wow, critical hit. Ding. Order, what was the meaning of this? Valerie Hawthorne, you jumped in the Eagle River intentionally. What? What is this? Oh, hold. Sorry, I said I wasn't gonna be going anymore. Away anymore. But my brother showed up, so. Indeed, what do you mean by such a ridiculous remark? Yes, it's ridiculous. Oh, my sister was there to help me. She had a gun and handcuffs. She could have saved me. Ding, dong, dong, ding. Sorry, jumping into the raging river like that, it would be suicide. Objection. Perhaps, but still that's not what you did. You were probably confident that you could handle the swift current. Even more so, you wouldn't have had that much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. Oh, then what was it? What was so important that she'd want to jump into the river? The witness is still alive, the very fact alone explains everything. This is why she risked her life by jumping into the river. Diamond. 5 years ago, something else has appeared along with Dahlia that item that Valerie brought up in the battle with her. The $2 million demand. Diamond. Ah, no, it can't be. Yes, Dahlia had been all planned from the beginning. The $2 million, she was going to keep it all for herself. Well, not all for herself, but she forced Mr. Falls to help her fake the kidnapping. Bang. The last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river. With that ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Why, that's simply ridiculous. I think we're coming up on the end of this case, honestly. Like, that's why I'm still going, but I feel like I want to wrap this up. Your Honor, 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan? That woman is a demon. And there was one more person who helped make the demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. You mean the victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well? Well, she was a detective then. She was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping? Precisely. I'm sure that it would weigh heavily in her conscience for the past 5 years. That's the reason behind the victim's murder. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Miss Palm Falls, Valerie called her sister Dahlia, and she told her what she was planning to do. You were a detective at the age of 18. She was going to tell the whole truth, and she wrote it in her note. That is, was still Valerie Haltern's fate. That is when you hatched your demonic plan to kill two birds with one stone. Plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would harm. And that is why you killed your sister Valerie Haltern. Who was that laughing at a time like this? Forgive me? It's hilarious. Witness, is that you? You mutiny woman? Miss Mia Fey. You can certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally, you have the evidence to back it up, don't you? Evidence? Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. That at 14, I plotted it with Mr. Falls and my sister. Well, one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? You can't provide evidence to at least show for that, to at least show that. Well, Miss Fey, I don't know. What a joke. You, Miss Fey. Are you stupid or something? Nah. I'm gonna prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago. I don't even have a decisive proof of Valerie Haltern's murder. Well, it seems that we come to an end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does seem raise certain suspicions. However, I am forced to reject the assertions made by the defense. Of course you are. Is it really over? That girl has made a fool of me and there's nothing I can do about it. Ha. That evidence the trial is over? Who decided that? Mr. Armando, come on now, kitten. Haven't you figured it all out that you can make your own rules? For example, even if there is no evidence, there's still testimony. Testimony. On the day in question, Dahlia Haltern murdered her sister, Valerie Haltern. Hid her body in the trunk of Mr. Falls' stolen car and then went to meet with him. Disguised as her sister, Valerie Haltern. That's what you think, right? Yes, that's right. In that case, there's only one answer there, right? There's only one person that left to testify who can testify about Valerie Haltern's murder. If there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who's the one person who can testify? Come up in the spot looking extra fine. Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. A new witness. Yes, we would like to hear the testimony of Terry Falls. Defendant? Only one person that can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that can say whether the person in the photo was Valerie Haltern, or whether it was in fact her sister Dahlia, disguised as her. Only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all, and that person is Terry Falls. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what's your take on this? Why not? Prosecution has no objection. Very well, bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand. Last chance, Mr. Falls. Last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You're all I have left. Dunk. It was raining outside, what the frick? Defendant, you've heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes? I don't believe it, no way. Dahlia died 5 years ago, Valerie betrayed me. Mr. Falls, I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Dahlia is very much alive, and you were used for $2 million. That's not true. Mr. Falls, there's only one more question I want the answer to. 2 days ago in Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Haltern, or was it Dahlia Haltern? Dahlia, did you betray me? 5 years ago, as she promised never ever betray each other. Terry, Dahlia? It's true. You are alive. You don't trust me anymore? That makes me sad. Tell the truth, the real truth. I believed in you. I shouldn't need to say it. You should already know. But there's one thing that I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry. I will allow Mr. Falls to testify once and only once. Well then, Mr. Falls, yours will be the final testimony in this trial. Witness. Eek. I'm sorry. I apologize. Bonk bonk. Water, please. Water. Um. Hmm. Can't talk. Need water. Oh well. I guess I'll have to be my. Sorry, Yabs says left the party again because my Xbox networking is having any issues apparently. Windows G. I'm gonna force close the Xbox game bar. And task. I'm going to open Xbox networking. There you go. I'm going to hit fix it. And I will read this as this works. So it'll have to be my coffee instead. At least it'll match the way I'm probably feeling right now. Darker and bitter than her heck itself. Wow. You Terry Falls saw. That day, 4 p.m., I stopped the car. I was in front of a bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on bridge. I watched my car from bridge. No, I never put nobody in that car. Finally, one woman came to the front of me. We talked, and she left. That was Valerie, not my Dahlia. Bonk. Mr. Falls, you're covering for her. You think she would lie for you? That's enough, Miss Fay. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of the trial. Well then, Miss Fay, please proceed with your cross-examination. That's how you wanted to end, Mr. Falls. Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence. Only one person who can stop you kitten, I think. Get Yabs in here. My man. She's there first. You frickin' frick. Yabs, get in here. Party. Join party. We palkin? There we go. So when you got to the bridge, no one had a ride, huh? So you went on the bridge, you sure of that? Yeah, I'm sure. You're sure, huh? Well then I'm sure too, Mr. Falls. I'm sure that you're lying. Huh? Wah. Wah wah. Wah. Oh, I would love to hear your rationale on this, Miss Fay. You want to know who arrived on the bridge first? Look at this photo. It's perfectly clear. Obviously, the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right? That's the victim at the end of the bridge. Bunk. Precisely my point, in other words, Mr. Falls. You must have arrived at the bridge after she did. Irk. Gaga. Blah. Mr. Falls. Please don't get so worked up. We just want the truth. I got there around 4 o'clock, it's true. I had somewhere to go. A special place. Did you go to the special place before you went to the bridge? Yeah, it's an old temple about 15 minutes from the bridge. But 5 years ago, me and Dahlia we promised each other. It's where we wouldn't betray each other. And so we bought a memento to represent our love. A memento. 5 years ago, we hid it under the base of a tree there. Special memory for me. This is it. This is where I want to. This is what I want to get. A little bottle of your necklace and your memento. Quite charming. It looks empty. Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. But then he left his car unattended and walked away. Gone for approximately 30 minutes. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of his car. No. Indeed, there certainly wasn't enough time for it. So we had a chance, Mr. Falls. There's no mistaking it. Herp. Mr. Falls. That's enough. Please. Witness? I promised her 5 years ago. If it ever happens that we can't trust each other no more, then we're supposed to drink bottle. No, stop the trial. Your Honor, we need a recess. I was stupid, couldn't keep promise, so I did it. I drank this. No, we're so close, just a little more. Going to prove your innocence. No, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill again. Kill sweet Dahlia again. Mr. Falls. Mr. Armando? Thanks for the coffee. Mr. Falls. As my first trial ended, suddenly, and tragically. Ended with no winners, only losers. Ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul I thought I'd never heal. I'm sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well. But one person. A true criminal, Dahlia Hawthorne. She left the courtroom, with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face. Unforgivable, that witch, Mr. Armando. We were so close to the truth, it was right there in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kid. It's my fault. It's not my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Don't cry, kid. You're going to make my coffee all salty. I knew it. I knew I wasn't cut out for this. Mia? Don't you get it? You didn't cry yet. Ah! The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Mr. Armando. No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time, when you file them away and eventually forget them. One year later, in this very same courthouse, I, myself, got wrapped up in that case. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. The verdict that wasn't ultimately handed down to her was... bonk. Guilty. Of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect angelic smile on her face. Dunk 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 a dink. It was finally all over. At least, that's what I thought at the time. Fortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something has happened that made me remember all this. I was in the hospital, man. I just realized. The final case of the game, of the trilogy. We'll see, I'll read here, and then we'll, I mean, I can quit it right here, right, as soon as we get able to, pause. I believe. Ah, my eyes. Oh, well, I'll save when I can do that, it's fine. The, Shinshishito, the treasured Korean village heirloom, whose name means seven-branched sword. It is said that this sacred sword represents life itself. Though the branches may appear to be infinite, choices limitless. Like our destinies, the sword comes to but one end, a merciless point. And when the silver cord, the fragile thread that binds us to this world, is severed, the illusion is revealed, and the impossibility of fate is finally laid bare. What do you even let us know? Fluff? February 6th. Okay, I'll save this here, and we will switch games to Monster Train, but I'll be back in momentarily. Return title screen, please. Alright. Dunk, 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 dunk. Can I type?